I'm going to be sharing with you the secret to making big decisions in your life because the last 5 months of my life have been so crazy. I've made so many powerful decisions that will literally change the entire course of my life. And so when you're making a decision like that, it's super, super important to understand where the energy of that decision is actually coming from. You want the energy of the choices that you make to be coming from a deeper space within you where you don't have that feeling of like regret or anxiety. Like you don't want to have that feeling, because if you feel right now this feeling of like regret for making a decision, you're like, I don't know if I made the right choice. Or if you're feeling like this anxiety and you don't really know where it's coming from, you don't know why it's happening, you have this intuitive feeling like you want to make the right choice, but then there's this feeling of anxiety kind of stopping you. And then also you don't know if you're making the right move in the moment, you're second guessing yourself. Also, if you've already made a decision, maybe you're looking back and you're worried about if you made the right choice. If you have these feelings, then this video is absolutely for you, because I'm going to share with you how to completely remove these doubts, how to remove these regrets, and just truly understand if you're making the right choice. Because I've had to make so many choices in my life, and there came a point where I was able to clearly see and understand how to make the right choice and follow my higher self and follow that true intuitive guidance that I know you've been receiving, but maybe you've been neglecting it. So if you're new to this channel, I want you to hit that subscribe button and that notification bell, because I post a new video every single day. Also, if you want to work with me one-on-one, then consider applying for a free consultation by hitting the website that's in the description box of this video. So the last 6 months of my life have been insane. I've dropped out of school. I've invested thousands of dollars in my coach. I've done so many things. I had to let go of so many relationships. There's been this whole shift happening in my life, right? There's this huge shift that's been happening. And maybe you're going through a similar process. And when you're going through this process of waking up to who you truly are, what happens is that you start to have all these doubts on whether you're making the right decision, right? Like, am I making the right choice here? Should I drop out of school? Should I follow this career path? Should I do this? And so I'm going to share with you how to just let go of these doubts, because if you're in alignment with who you are and you have a difference and you have this contrast between following your heart and also balancing that with the mind, you're not going to have any regrets. I promise to you. I promise to you that if you understand what I'm sharing with you in this video and you truly see the difference between making a decision based on true intuition versus making a decision based on your ego and fear, you're not going to have an issue knowing whether you're making the right decision, and you're not going to regret it because you know that you made the right choice. And even if it doesn't seem like you made the right choice, you also have an understanding that at a bigger level, that's exactly the choice that you needed to make to learn a certain lesson. Because when you make choices from this space of consciousness that I'm going to be sharing with you, you're never going to have these regrets, and you're just going to know whether you're making the right choice. So the first thing I want to share with you is to have a balance of the heart and the mind. Okay, don't be making decisions based on fear. Make decisions based on being connected to your heart space, and also balancing that with the mind. So I'm going to give you a tangible example. So when I was dropping out of school and I had to make this choice in my life, right? Do I drop out of school or do I follow my true path that I was kind of intuitively guided to follow? And so it was pretty bold for me. I was already 2 years into college. And so there was this logical, rational part of my mind being like, okay, well, you know what? You have to be realistic, right? You have to be realistic. That's what I told myself. I have to be realistic. I have to stay in school. I have to do this because, you know, I need to realistically create income for myself, and I have to do all these things. Little did I realize that it was just fear of my other path not working out, because I came to this conclusion where I was like, if I truly believed in myself and in the guidance of the universe, because I don't believe I'm alone. I feel like I'm being guided to follow something that I'm meant to do. And if you're watching this video, you know that this is not a coincidence right now. So I had this decision where I was like I know I'm being guided. I need to feel like I have no fear. And I knew if I had no fear, then like, this is what I told myself. If I have no fear, I would just drop out of school. That's what I knew. That's what I knew in my heart. But then my mind would rationalize, and see, that's where the fear comes in. It's like, oh, well, what if this happens? What if that happens? It's all the ego projecting into the future. But when I would just tune into the present moment, when I become extremely present, and I would just become the observer of my thoughts and listen to what my mind is telling me from a neutral space of consciousness, my mind just told me, drop out of school. And then my ego was thinking afterwards, oh man, that's not possible. It's almost like, I'm going to share with you something personal. When I had the thought that said drop out of school, I've already been experiencing synchronicity in my life, and I always felt a connection spiritually to my angels or my guides, or whatever label you want to put on it. I don't necessarily label this guidance that I get, but it's almost like that thought that I had wasn't even mine. It's almost like I received a thought from some higher intelligence that just told me, just drop out of school. You see, but then what followed that thought? What happened afterwards is I had a thought there was many thoughts coming after that said, no, you have to be realistic. What is family going to think of you? What is this? But when I would just become present and shift into my heart space, become present, neutralize my thoughts, that's what my mind said. It just said, drop out of school. It was a fearless state. It was absolutely fearless and selfless. Only when myself came into the equation, my lower self, you see, my lower self tells me why I can't do it, why this, why that, rationalizes why I have to, but then my higher self comes in and says, just drop out of school. And there's all the synchronicity proving to me why that's okay and you're going to be just fine. But see, then the lower self projects fear. And you see, that's the difference between following your heart and following your ego only. Because don't get me wrong, the mind is a useful tool, but I was able to see that thought as intuition because I understood that it almost wasn't my thought. And so if this sounds crazy to you, well, then maybe this channel isn't for you. I'm just going to say that straight up, because this channel is about spiritual development, connecting to who you truly are beyond the ego. And if you truly believe in the cosmic guidance of the universe, the universal guidance that we're all given, well, then you're probably at this channel for a reason. But I want you to understand how to tap into that when you're making decisions in your life, because that's going to be the difference between living your dream life and living a life that you absolutely hate. Living a life of following the light versus living a life of following the darkness. Like, you really want to understand, are you following the guidance that is within you, but is also potentially spirit guides guiding you to where you want to be? Like, what decisions are you making, and based on what kind of energy? And so I knew in that moment that if I had no fear, if I fully trusted the process, then I just did it. And you know what? Part of it wasn't logical. Part of it was like, this is not logical, Francis. Like, what are you thinking? What are people going to think of you? But I had this deep intuition and knowing that it would work out. I just knew. And then guess what? I'm still not where I want to be exactly now, but things started to align in a way that was perfect for me. I found the perfect career path. I found how to be a coach. I found the perfect coach for me. I found out all the perfect information at the right time to step into that new career role. I didn't know the how, I didn't know the when, but I knew that I had to step into the unknown and just follow my guidance present based on the moment by moment by moment by moment. And so here's what I want to share with you next, is that when it comes to making big decisions, your ego doesn't have to figure it all out. So first of all, just to conclude what I shared before, follow your heart, neutralize your thoughts, and eliminate fear. Never make a decision based on fear, no matter how illogical the decision may be. And you know what? If you have to use some logic, then do that. You see, that's what I'm saying. Connect to your heart space, become present. Also balance the logic, but understand if the logic is coming from fear. Okay, you want your decisions to be fearless. If you follow any decision based on fear, you will follow the path of darkness. You will follow the path that is not meant for you, because your true self has no fear. So that's what I wanted to conclude with that point. So now that you're present to the moment, you connected deeply to a space of no fear. You can connect deeply to that universal intelligence, because you're more connected to the universal intelligence when you have a clear state of mind and you're very present to the moment. What does this mean on a tangible level? Calm down, notice your breathing, shift to the present moment, become the observer of your thoughts, and just listen. Listen to what your mind tells you. Make sure you let go of all that negative load, negative vibration. Raise your consciousness for just a moment, and now listen to your intuition. That's where the powerful, like the voice in your head, that's when you're going to start getting voices where you're like, okay, this can't even be my voice. It's almost like some universal guidance. And then you see synchronicities after, and you see this, you see it's all connected. It's all connected. So your ego doesn't have to figure it all out. Okay? Because when it comes to making big decisions, I just want you to know that your ego doesn't have to figure it out. Your limited, tiny little ego doesn't have to worry specifically about if you're making the right choice. You see, that's the ego trying to logically figure it all out. If you connect deeply to the present moment, trust in the process that you are being guided to what it is that you need to create. Trust that the universe is giving you exactly what you need. Trust the process. Think back to your synchronicities and know that everything happens for a reason. If you've already had synchronicity in your life, you know that you don't have to figure it all out. If your ego had to figure it all out, this would be a pretty hard lifetime to live through. But right now, in this life, you don't have to do it all yourself. You know that you're intuitively guided. You know that this message is speaking to your heart right now. You know that this moment right now, you watching this video, is also not a coincidence. So understand that your ego doesn't have to figure it all out. Okay, if this message resonates with you, make sure you hit that like button and also leave a comment down below. Because this message is coming straight from my heart right now. Your ego doesn't have to figure it out. You can allow universal intelligence to flow through you from a state of presence to make choices for you. And that might sound scary. It's like, whoa, so does that mean that, Francis, I'm not making the choice? Well, that comes to a different topic, but understand that you're not alone and that yes, you have free will. Yes, you can make choices, but you don't have to figure it all out. You can allow the intuition to flow through you, assuming that you've made a difference in your experience between a higher state of consciousness and your ego. So just to make it totally clear, you know you're tapped into universal intelligence if you feel very present, if you feel very one with everything. Maybe your visual perception will even increase. Maybe your colors will be heightened. You're not going to feel any of that heavy, negative, anxious energy that you might be feeling right now. You're not going to feel any of that, like that feeling in your stomach and in your chest where it's like you don't even know why you're feeling anxious. It's like these past negative emotions. None of that. You're not going to have any of that. That's all going to completely eliminate if you're connected to the moment. Now that you're tapped into that higher state, right, that you might be feeling right now as you're listening to me, now what's going to happen is you're going to have a deeper connection to the universe to be able to make a decision based on a higher consciousness state. You see what I'm saying? That's true power right there. And you know that you're never going to have to look back and regret decisions because you know that maybe you didn't even make that decision. Your higher self made that decision for you. Don't put it in the hands of your ego. Your ego doesn't have to take all that responsibility. Put it in the hands of your higher self. Let that flow through you. Let the universal intelligence flow through you to make the choice for you. Receive the thought. If you listen to Abraham Hicks, she talks about being in the vortex. You see, when you're in the vortex, that just means being very connected to your true self, being connected to the moment. You're not going to regret decisions. You're not going to be worried about if you're making the right choice. You're not going to be worried about this or that. When you're in the vortex and you're connected to your true self, you're in such a high consciousness state that you cannot possibly be making the wrong decision. Now, don't get me wrong. Sometimes you have to step into the unknown, which may be scary, but you see, that's different. That's different because you know that it's coming from a place of no fear to intentionally step into the unknown. That's not your ego. Stepping up to the next level, which involves a little bit of fear, is not your ego. That's your ego coming back up, trying to keep you comfortable when really what you should be doing is stepping into the unknown. You see that? So don't get that twisted. But you want to be making choices from that deeper space within you. If this message is resonating with you, please hit that like button because this will help you. This will reach more people to make that choice that they need to make to follow their true life path that is guided by the higher self and the universe. Okay, please hit that like button because this is a crucial point right now where people need to make the choice to follow their true path. Okay, you can't follow the path of the ego. It's only going to lead to destruction for yourself and the rest of the planet. So please hit that like button so more people can resonate with this message. Because I know if you're still watching this video, this message is resonating with your heart. So hit that like button. And so I want you to understand that let the intelligence of your higher self and the universe, God, consciousness, awareness, whatever word makes you feel powerful, to allow you to flow with that. There's a deeper intelligence guiding us to everything. It's not just your ego. Okay, if I had to do this all myself and my ego had to figure out how I'm going to make all my subscribers get to 500,000, how I'm going to get all the clients that I want, how I'm going to get this, you see, that would be very difficult and I wouldn't be able to trust the process. But I have this deep faith that I don't have to figure it all out myself being my ego. When I talk about myself, I'm talking about my ego in this specific case. You can connect to the deeper self, which is not the ego, where from that space, you make powerful decisions that you'll never regret, that will lead you to what you want because you know you are being guided by the universe to exactly what needs to happen in the present moment by no coincidence. Okay? So I'm going to share with you this last point. If you're still watching this video this far in, this point will help you. I want you to trust in the synchronicity and trust in the process. Know that your ego doesn't have to figure it all out. And the last point that I'm going to share with you, if you resonated with this video this far in, is to follow the synchronicity in your life. Okay, follow the synchronicity in your life. Super, super key. You're not alone in this process. Who knows what is guiding us? Is it spirit guides? Is it angels? Is it our higher self? I don't really need to focus on the labels. The labels are just like, you see, all these labels are human limited constructs putting a label on something. Why? Why do you have to label what is guiding you? Just understand that you are being guided. Follow that intuition. You don't need to put any labels on anything. When I did my first coaching call with my first client 5 months ago, 6 months ago, you would not believe the amount of synchronicity that I saw that day. I saw so much synchronicity. I was shocked. That was so when I was kind of going through the process of normalizing my spiritual awakening. I was becoming more comfortable with the fact that I'm being guided. I was kind of finding comfort in that. I was kind of past the phase where I was like, oh my gosh, this is so crazy. I'm being guided by the universe. This is so, like, my ego was flustered by this concept of being guided. But then I started to normalize. So I followed that guidance. There was like, I don't know about you, but the way I see synchronicity is on license plates. Okay, so the moment I had that first coaching call, first of all, what led me to that call was connecting deeply to the present moment and being in a very connected, deep state of oneness with the universe. So I connected with that. I followed my intuition based on the present moment. I did that first coaching call with my first client ever. And then what happened afterwards was I saw so many license plates. I was shocked. I was absolutely shocked because I know that there's no coincidence. And I have that deep knowing. This is kind of hard for me to share with you because I was kind of holding back from sharing this kind of stuff on this channel. But I think it's time to open up and share this with you because this is the difference between following your true path and not following your true path. This is a difference between following what you're called to do versus being lost in your ego and allowing society and just following the herd. I saw those synchronicities and I knew that I am being guided. So I can look back at that day and always know that I'm being guided. You see, look back. Here's what's going to help you to make big decisions. Follow the guidance that you are given. Follow that guidance. Don't doubt in the guidance. It's trying to help you. It's here for you. Everything's happening for you, not to you. And if you know there's no coincidence, then you know that. So follow that. You see, when the moment I saw that, I already knew intuitively that I meant to coach people and I meant to help people. But then when I saw that synchronicity, it just reaffirmed it even more. And so I knew that was my path. I just knew it. There's no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind I'm on the right path. Anybody could tell me whatever they want. People in my family could say, oh, you're on the wrong path. Oh, Francis, what are you doing? What are you doing here? It doesn't matter. None of that matters. When you know you're on your path, then you know you're on your path. You just know. You know you're on your path. Nobody can tell you otherwise. Okay. And if you feel that anxiety coming up right now, where you feel like people around me are judging me, no, just let go of that. You know you're being guided. Trust that feeling. Just trust that feeling. Trust that feeling that you don't have that anxiety, you see? You're going to have that shift back and forth between the anxiousness and then your true self. Just let go of the anxiousness, follow your true self, and you're never going to make the wrong choices. And then you'll be reaffirmed if you're making the right choices, and you'll always know if you're on the right path. Follow that. Follow that path. Am I exactly where I want to be? Absolutely not. Do I know I'm on the right path, working towards exactly what I want every single day, divinely being guided by the universe? Also, I'm making choices, but I don't have to do this alone. And that if I just follow that, then I'll get to exactly where I want to be. Absolutely. And I want you to tap into that and use that for your dream and use that for your true life purpose that will lead you to the path that you are meant to follow. And if you follow these steps in this video, you're never going to have any issues making decisions in your life ever again. Once again, if this video resonated with you, resonated with your heart, and spoke to your soul, then please hit that like button so more people can resonate with this message. That's all I have for you today. I wanted to announce that I have a free guided meditation that's specifically designed to connect you deeper to that universal intelligence. So if you're having trouble making decisions right now, then download that meditation right now because it's completely free. Okay, it's going to be as a link in the description box of this video. I'll also leave it as a comment in this video. I want you to download that meditation because it will connect you to that state of presence, that connect you to the moment, that will help you to have clarity on a decision that you're making in your life. And if you're watching this video, you maybe have some decisions you have to make. So make sure you get that meditation as well to help you connect to that space. That's all I have for you today. Have yourself a great day, and I'll see you in the next video.